The Yun and the Restless spoilers. Jack turns to Phyllis, dumps Diane. The recent conversation Phyllis and Jack had at the park was pretty good. It seemed peaceful, in contrast to the always tense situation. I mean, they did squabble a little, but points were made and none of them were enraging. In fact, they were true. That being said, Phyllis also made a point that all of Kyle started really rebelling after Diane fired him and that Jack too was not a great father himself. Jack seemed like he didn't want to admit it, but all the points that Phyllis made were valid. Now that Victor is still planning to take Jabot down, Jack may realize Diane has been causing him more problems, especially since Victor will probably strike a deal with Diane too. So he may seek Phyllis's help, since if he's going to play dirty, he also needs someone who can play dirty for real by his side and may eventually dump Diane. Phyllis wins. Now, let's rewind a bit to that little park chat between Jack and Phyllis. It wasn't your usual yelling match, thank goodness. They did have their moments of bickering, sure, but the conversation was actually pretty calm for those two. And the points Phyllis threw at Jack? They weren't just jabs out of nowhere, they were spot on. She wasn't trying to pick a fight, but rather laying down some cold, hard truths. One of the biggest things Phyllis brought up was how Kyle has been on a rebellious streak ever since Diane kicked him out of the company. But let's be real, she wasn't wrong, and you could see it in Jack's face. He didn't want to admit it, but he knew Phyllis was hitting the nail on the head. Victor is still cooking up schemes to take down Jabot, and we all know that man never plays fair. Victor might rope Diane into his shady plans, which would mean even more trouble for Jack. And if Jack's smart, he'll realize that Diane might be more of a liability than an asset at this point. So, what's a guy to do? Well, if you're Jack and you need someone who can get down and dirty in the trenches, who better to call on than Phyllis? She's always been a fighter, and let's face it, she's probably the only one who can go toe-to-toe with Diane and come out on top. So, what do you guys think?
Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to check some of our other videos. And we hope to see you again in the next video.